unfortunate news over the weekend. Fire outbreak at Sekondi. We have the Daily Guide carries it and says 2 dead, 14 injured, and a Sekondi. The new finder also has that says. The Republic Press rather says 16 burned in premix blast, 2 dead. Okay, so let me just get into the story right now, and it says here on page 3 of the Daily Guide, 2 people have lost their lives following a premix fuel explosion at Injurisia. Now, it's a fishing community in Isikado Ketan constituency of the Western region. Now, how the incident occurred, let me just jump into the story there. It says here, eyewitness account had it that some fishermen had gone to buy premix fuel for fishing at Injurisia and were conveying it to the beach when some of the contents of the drum suddenly spilled on the ground. Now, they pointed out that the spilled product came into contact with a fire set by some fishmongers nearby, which resulted in the explosion. Now, the drum fell and the fuel started to leak. Unfortunately, it went where fishmongers smoke fish in the community. The spilled fuel got into contact with the fishmongers' fire and caught up in flames. Those who were close, including some children, got badly injured and were rushed to the health facility for treatment, the eyewitness disclosed. All right. According to the sources, the personnel from the regional headquarters of the Ghana National Fire Service in Sekondi reported to the scene on time and managed to bring the inferno under control. All right. So it's given the names of those here who were involved, according to the assembly member for Injurisia and Passem, Gabriel Atumensa, the 2 deceased, Joseph Adom, who's 15 years, Justice Dazi, who's 7 years, were receiving treatment at Efian Kwanta Hospital in Sekondi when they succumbed to the injury. So these are the people who unfortunately have lost their lives. All right, so let me get into the conversation. What do you make of this?
Okay, thank you, Kweku. It's quite an unfortunate incident, that happened at Injurisia in the Sekondi metropolis. The NPA, that is the regulator, is yet to bring the full report by close of today. So hopefully before the day ends, we will see the report from the NPA giving us a full detail of what transpired at Injurisia. The little I have gathered so far from various agencies, i.e. the Association of Oil Marketing Companies and even some members from the NPA, is that the fisher folks got delivery of those drums of premix fuel. While they were rolling it, to the fishing site. One of them got opened and then it spilled, everything spilled. And then in the course of the spillage, there is a fishmonger also around. And unfortunately, as it was traveling to that end, fire and fuel, they will never be friends.
Yeah.
And that is how come the explosion occurred, with 2 kids losing their lives.
Yeah.
And it also brings about the question of our health facilities. Listen, we are told that 2 of them had to be brought to Kolebu to receive further attention. If they were politicians, I'm pretty sure they would have been flown, using the helicopter or what have you. But because they are ordinary citizens, we had to put them in ambulance, driving all the way from Sekondi Takrade to Accra. Look at the distance. So whatever will happen to that patient will already, before they even get to Kolebu or Accra, it would have happened.
Yeah, but they took them initially to Efian Kwanta for initial treatment and then forward.
I know, but like I said, if they were politicians, would they have received the same treatment they are receiving? Pretty much the obvious. They would have been flown to Accra that very same day and received that treatment they needed. But unfortunately, as ordinary citizens, we have to fight for ourselves. Okay. And you recall that STMA, that is the assembly, donated some monies because they were even struggling with how to foot their bills. All right? It just brings about the issue of our health facilities, our health institutions, and how prepared they are for some of these, infractions as and when they occur. Accidents, yes, will happen. I mean, we take inspirations from what happened at Atomic some years ago, and then also at La. The gas fuel station at La that exploded, and then the atomic issue at Medina also. The NPA has done so far, a great job with regards to health and safety.
Yeah.
However, some of these petty ones, I believe that there's still a lot more education that needs to be done, just so our fisher folks can understand the ways and means by which they can protect themselves, and then also manage how they can be safe, and even their surroundings can be safe with the use of the premix fuel in drums. Yes.
Yeah. So my issue with this unfortunate loss of life is, I feel that based on what happened here, it could have been avoided. Okay, it could have been avoided because, and the reason why I say so is this, that there's fire, there's fuel. How you transport fuel is critical. And I keep telling people when we have these kind of conversations that I was in Europe for a few weeks, and I noticed that residential buildings, not residential areas, residential buildings have on the ground floor filling stations. It's in the building. It's part of the building. So the ground floor, where we will put the car park, they have a filling station in the building. The next floor above is shops. Then above that is residences. And it's been there for years. They don't have any issues. So it's like our way of thinking about safety and our practices and the indiscipline is part of the narrative.
Yeah. This is a very sad happening through an accident that could have been avoided. That's how I saw it. And I thought clearly, I mean, where premix fuel will be around. And then you even ask yourself, why was fire around that place? Like you said, they arrange things well in that part of the world.
And they are disciplined.
Very, very disciplined, What will occur to somebody to be rolling a drum on the ground?
I don't understand that.
I mean,
is that the only way to transport it? I don't.
I mean, in our the most local thinking, you would want to see the pulling track.
Yes.
At least put them on it. That's what I see them do with palm oil and the rest.
Yes.
I see them,
yes.
maybe if they are rolling it from a car, it rolls down, then they'll carry it and put it on the track, and then they'll be pulling it along. I mean, so, like you rightly said, you said everything else. It is how careful we are with the handling of such, and the mindset to know that premix fuel, this is flammable.
Yeah.
So you need to watch what is the next distance between that one and anything that can have, like he's saying, that the two, fire and premix fuel, they are not friends. So how far would you want that person to be away from where the premix fuel is passing? That's what you have said. You said, how to be careful with what you are doing. The failure to exhaust investigations around this thing is one of our problems. It happens, and to what extent? If you should go right now to ask them, what was the investigations around the gas explosion at Atomic? You'll be surprised. You'll be wowed. I mean, I won't be surprised if we didn't go through all the, the process of docketing what happened.
And even when we do, Jeffrey, I find that the recommendations that come from National Fire Service and whichever committee will sit to investigate are hardly ever implemented
Right.
and followed through to the logical conclusion.
We don't learn.
Look at what happened at Circle.
Yes.
Lessons learned. We'll do. White paper will come. Whatever it is.
And as we speak right now, if you like, let's go through only Thessalon and a few environs here. You see where fuel stations have been located. Residential areas.
Yeah.
The other time I just took a drive through Mile 7 area, and there were fuel stations where you could see people's houses, hotels next to the fuel station. How do you do this?
No, but you see, the thing is that, again, it comes back to
Because
what I was
we
saying.
can't even manage it. We don't even have the fire stations like you see elsewhere.
Let
You are
me
saying
add a little to the
underneath,
debate.
right?
You recall that quite recently, quite a number of OMCs
Yes.
had their licenses revoked
Yes.
by the
Right.
NP,
Yes.
even in the north.
Yes.
And these are some of the things the regulator is doing to
Okay.
ensure that health and safety is not more or
Compromised.
less, becomes more or less an option. It is strictly the way to go, and that's why I began by commending the MPA for some of the work that is done over the period in ensuring that health and safety becomes a priority. And it has a designated desk at the NPA responsible for that, HSE. All right, and they don't joke around with that.
Okay.
And that is why for some time now
Do they also do education?
they do. And that is why for some time now, I'm not speaking for NPA though, but that is what I have witnessed and the kind of work we've done with them because we are also a consumer advocate, right? So they have been very consistent with their work and in making sure that almost all the depots, all the OMCs, if it is fire that you are supposed to have a fire certificate, you go through all the the checks. So they come at every given interval to check them. All right, go to any of the OMCs. They have them there.
Somebody should have been in charge of sealing these drums.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you seal them
Yes,
to be safe?
yes.
So, like you said,
Yeah.
these drums in another part of the world will be so well sealed and
The
well handled
challenge
that
is
no
with
matter how
our
close a
people,
fire
how
could
to
point
handle
you.
them.
Yeah, but you see, that's why I'm
The
asking the
handlers.
question about
Simple
education.
transportation.
No, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying
No,
about
but
the
that's
education
why you're
part.
saying that, you see,
Do you understand?
like the NPA
NPA's
said, the
job
NPA says they've
doesn't
educated the
end.
people. But if you educate them and ensure that these handlers of this flammable fuel
Right.
actually were well trained, they have the right gadgets, they are using the right drums. Some of these drums might be in operation for long, but well managed. So if you well sealed and you actually put them on tracks, how you are handling them, where even where you are, the point at which you are going to dispose them of, would there be an alarm blower like? Is anybody holding a torch here? Is it, do you have phones on you?
Yeah.
You know, all these
don't
things
have
are,
phones
it's not
around.
about telling them. It's about ensuring
I
that
agree.
the safety.
I agree.
Now,
I
here's
agree
the
to
question.
that
Here's the question. This thing is going to be
So
investigated.
that training thing he's saying is a wonderful thing. You need to keep training them.
This
I
is,
agree.
This thing is going to be investigated, right?
Yes, yes.
Ghana National Fire Service is going to bring out a report, and we'll find out, right?
Yes.
Now, will the people that were rolling the drum be held accountable?
That's it. What are the
Do you
punishments?
understand? Because this is how we do things, and people just feel like it's business as usual.
We have to go
It
through
should
the
not just end
investigation.
with the
Punishment
people
must
who are
be
rolling.
applied.
It is the supplier. I mean, the negligence starts from there. So from the supplier down
but wait,
to...
though, what does
That's
the
what Coco
supplier
is
do?
saying.
You are the one supplying the product.
Yes.
You are also supposed to ensure some level of safety.
Yes,
Okay, so that's
but-
why he said that we need to hold somebody accountable.
Exactly.
Not
So
hold
it shouldn't,
somebody.
that's what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
It
but
shouldn't just
Paul,
end with those who are
Paul,
rolling it.
No, but Paul, wait,
the-
hold
the
on a second.
site.
Hold on a second. Hold on a
Okay.
second. No matter how well you seal a metal container,
Right.
right?
Right.
No matter how well you seal it, you know, you do know bonda. When they say a container, you have a conco, you bonda that thing.
Yes.
When you're rolling on the ground,
So
it will
long as
change the
trans-
shape.
yeah.
And therefore, it may change the way the lid is, whether the lid is tight or it's not tight.
So the
Do
handling-
you understand?
the
I don't think
handling-
the supplier has anything to do with this. The supplier has a role to play. But when you do and you seal the thing and it's gone,
I think
it's
where
gone out
he's
of your
coming from
hands.
is that
No, you are
the
not-
supplier
you are not
engaged to
getting my
handle the
point.
thing.
You see, the product is coming from somewhere.
Yes.
Wherever the product is coming from,
We
Yes.
engage these
they are
persons.
supposed to have what is called safety measures.
Yes.
So when you are delivering the product to the next person, there's also supposed to be some level of safety to be ensured there. Before the final phase, where it is put into the canoes or the boats of whoever, all right? So it must cut across you know,
Everybody must be
exactly.
held- yes.
Everybody must be held accountable.
I agree with
that's
you.
what I'm saying. It shouldn't just end with the people who are rolling it.
Okay, all right.
Everybody must face it.
Fair enough.
And I'm pretty sure by the end or by the close of the day, I'm sure NPA will come out.
I think
with
we
a
should all
report.
follow with interest.
Yes,
some of
yes,
these
and
things.
then we'll see the way.
Let me